We've had a lockdown for 3 weeks, but our numbers haven't gone down. It's not clear yet that we've actually flattened the curve. So what do you think is needed to ensure that we're using this extension for the next 2 weeks to actually achieve that goal? The main priority right now is keeping the numbers down.
Two things. One, that different state governments put their points across to the Prime Minister of India. And there are a few very pertinent things that I think Government of India should take into consideration. One is that every state should have a state-specific grant by the Government of India because all economic activity has come to a standstill. Right now, we have enough rations in our godowns to give essentials to the poorest amongst us. But there will come a time where we'll need financial resources to engage in acquisition of medical equipment, of getting more edible commodities to the people. And I think the lockdown is successful, Sarah, only if people participate and adhere to it. There's no point in having a curfew or having a partial lockdown in some states and have some states open, because then, we get back into mass movement of people, defeats the entire purpose. So I'm of the opinion that lockdown should be declared officially by the government after having consulted all stakeholders, including the scientific community, doctors, and of course all the state governments that they've already spoken to. We did ask for some relaxation because the harvest season is on. We want our farmers to get at least the MSP because they're now in distress, because then the next sowing season will start. We've also asked, I think the Government of India should give some relaxation and some headroom through the RBI to give us, allow us to take more loans at a lower interest rate. So I'm sure other states, governments have also given similar requests. But moving forward, once the official lockdown is announced by the Government of India, then all of us have to follow it stringently. And to my mind, if you don't have a curfew, that's a complete curfew, because this COVID-19 virus does not have a vaccine or a medicine to cure it. Right. The only way we can overcome this challenge is by isolating ourselves, staying home. I've seen instances in curfews and lockdowns where people use influence, or they know somebody, they get a pass made, and then, the infection, the sanctity of the curfew is not maintained. So we must take lessons from the previous lockdown, the last 2.5 weeks, where millions of people were stuck on borders of different states. So you must have a future planning that the supply chains for the essential commodities remain unbroken. That's very important.
And if the supply chains are open, it only helps allow people to stay home because they have all their basic essentials where they can need it. But Mr. Pilot, more specifically, you've asked, this economic package, funding from the center, states need to buy ventilators, PPE. Was there any indication from the PM whether that, that request will be acceded to?
Well, I'm hopeful because I think everybody understands this particular challenge is not for a party or a government or an individual. This is a national, this is a human challenge that all of us have to come together and defeat. I think time for bipartisan parties or ideological clashes or one-upsmanship or name calling, I think that time is far gone. We must learn from experiences from the Western countries. I mean, they didn't take it seriously, and now they're paying a heavy price for it.
Correct.
We still have a chance. I think our lockdown has been successful to an extent, but the numbers are rising. Even today, Rajasthan, we have now 680 odd individuals who are infected. Okay. So the numbers are still rising. You can't take your eye off the ball. And
I do want to ask you about the Bhilwara model, but before that, so where do you stand then on Mamata Banerjee's pointing out that the CSR fund, the discrepancies where CSR funds that go to the Chief Minister's fund don't count as CSR, but for the PM's CARES fund, where do you stand on that? It does count as CSR.
I think there should be no distinction between money being given to a Chief Minister or the Prime Minister, because it's not the individual, it's the office that people are giving money to. I think the both should be treated equally. I don't think there should be discrepancy in how you treat money given to New Delhi or to one state capital.
All right.
But I do want to make a point. I think it's important for the Government of India to have a systemized, institutionalized acquisition of PPE kits, ventilators, because I don't want the states outbidding each other. If I want to buy certain ventilators, and so does Gujarat or Maharashtra, we will increase the price by adding to the cost that they're asking us to pay. So, to keep the prices down and to have a systemized, institutionalized acquisition, distribution of medical equipment that are crucial to life-saving, efforts that we are making, you need to have far-thinking policies as opposed to knee-jerk reactions.
All right. Lastly, quickly, if I can ask you, we've heard of the Bhilwara model, one of the earliest hotspots in controlling the spread of COVID-19. What are the lessons to be learned from here that could be implemented in the rest of the country?
Well, we had a curfew in Bhilwara, but the number of infections was still rising. That's when the administration locally also decided that we must have a super curfew, where there's absolutely no vehicular movement. Even for fruits, vegetable, milk, the administration was doing door-to-door delivery to people inside the curfew zone. Everybody was screened 3 times. There are no shortcuts. There's no easy way out. It's painful. It hurts. It's a lot of agony to suffer for everybody. But unfortunately, there is no alternative. That is the only way we can get through with this. But if we come together as one people, fight unitedly, I'm sure we can overcome this challenge.